Hey guys, welcome back to Health and Fitness Nerd. I'm your host and your nerd, Steven Ayala, and this is part 2 of 3 videos, and today we're going to talk about what exactly causes non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. What exactly causes non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? It's simple. Lifestyle and diet can have adverse effects to your health. Basically, you can consider a poor diet being linked to every disease known in human existence. Although there's been many studies and research that's linked to environmental factors also contributing to your overall well-being. But for right now, let's just talk about the most obvious, diet. Everything you shove in your mouth has direct correlation to how you're going to feel, think, and operate. People have been eating all their lives, but do they really know what they're eating and how that directly affects their chemistry? To put it to you simply, food is not just food, it's a form of fuel for the body. Eating foods that are depleted of certain nutrients will over time hurt the body. For example, it takes your body to produce enzymes to break down certain types of foods that may not have enzymes of their own for complete assimilation, taxing your pancreas to work harder. For example, overcooked meats that have been charred has been known to be a carcinogen and been linked to cancer. Any remnants of nutrients have been cooked completely out, and certain fat-soluble vitamins get damaged when cooked in high heat. A good example of that would be fish having essential fatty oils that are beneficial for our health, but they're are fragile when overcooked and become rancid and harmful for the body. Cooking techniques should be as broiling, steaming, poaching, baking, stir fry, sauteing, or crock pot is recommended. Deep fried foods are to be avoided because of high temperatures and the oils that are cooked in. So let's talk about what not to eat. I want to go as far as to say that a lot of the stuff we eat I wouldn't even consider to be real food. I would think that some of the things that I'm going to mention would be obvious, but let's go through them anyway. Processed and packaged foods that have been overcooked, denatured, and processed in a way that is harmful when consumed. A good example of that would be processed meats like hot dogs, lunch meats, canned foods, packaged foods, and cereals, and anything that may have more than 2 ingredients, and foods that are high in preservatives. Also highly processed wheat flour products. Yes, you heard me right, I hit you below the belt. Bread, pasta, cookies, cakes, and pastries. Flour is processed in the body like sugar. High carbohydrate foods include breads, rice, pasta, potatoes, vegetables like corn, fruit, sugar, and milk. The body changes 100% of those carbohydrates we eat into glucose. This affects our blood sugar levels quickly. Flour are not only considered over-processed, but when cooked, we add large amounts of fat. For example, bread with butter, cookies and cakes that are cooked with butter or some type of fat, which is the worst 2 combinations that you can eat at one time. Fats and sugars should never be eaten together. What happens is your body processes the sugar because it's the fastest and easiest thing to process into energy. Your body takes the path of least resistance. That's why it uses the sugar as quick energy, and the fat takes time to break down, so your body will store this fat instead of burning it. What you want to do is turn your body into a fat burning machine instead of a sugar burning machine. To do this, you will need to stop eating those foods I mentioned and start eating and making healthier choices. It's a good thing to know that most packaged foods and processed foods like condiments, canned and packaged foods are high in sugar and preservatives. So to avoid overconsumption of these sugars and high carbohydrate foods, start eating more healthier foods with higher fat content, because that will be used as a fuel source instead of sugar. Your liver will convert fat into what's known as ketones that your body burns as fuel. There's a lot of information and research that says a diet higher in fat is much healthier than a diet higher in carbohydrates. The research has also shown that cancer thrives on sugar but cannot survive without it. So to avoid having or supporting cancer at all by avoiding all these foods that are higher in sugar. This just makes sense to me. You may have heard of the keto diet and all the health claims along with it. My diet is much higher in fat and lower in carbohydrates, but I wouldn't consider my diet to be 100% keto because I carb load at the end of the day. I do high intensity workouts which deplete me of my glycogen, and I need to replace it for the next workout. When it comes to diet, no one can really tell you what diet will be correct for you, but it's up to you to test and learn your body's chemistry so you can properly fuel your body. It's taken me years to understand food and how it works with my body, but what works for me may not necessarily apply to you. So you have to do your own biohacking, and this will take some time, so you must be patient. Keep it super simple and start eliminating certain foods out of your diet that are not necessary. Once I did that, I realized that those certain foods irritated me when I started eating them again. This is one way you'll know and find those foods that will no longer serve you. To make things super simple, I'm going to list some of the foods that are quite obvious and some that may not. So start here. Cooking oils, the ones to avoid and the ones you should only be cooking with. Grass-fed butter is a healthy choice and also contains a short-chain fatty acid called butyric acid and vitamins A, D, E, B12, and K2. Butter still contains milk proteins that may cause inflammation and irritation to those who are allergic to it. A good alternative would be ghee. It's clarified butter that all the proteins and solids have been cooked out of, still containing butyric acid and the same vitamins as butter, but nothing that would cause inflammation. Coconut oil contains lauric acid. They kill bacteria, viruses, and funguses that are harmful for the body. Also contains MTC. This oil is short chain and goes directly into the liver and turned right into ketones for the body to use as energy. Avocado oil is another good oil. It's heart healthy and it contains oleic acid, helps reduce inflammation in the body. The one oil I highly suggest staying completely away from would be vegetable oil, shortening, or vegetable lard. Studies have shown when consuming these oils, it increases higher amounts of visceral fat. Be aware that most restaurants fries their food in this type of oil. Hey guys, thanks again. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who really needs this information.